In November 2026, according to predictions made decades ago, a massive spacecraft will enter Earth's atmosphere. Artificial intelligence will reach a tipping point where it begins controlling humanity. A global war will erupt that changes civilization forever. These aren't new predictions. These aren't social media trends. These are prophecies made by Baba Vanga, the blind Bulgarian mystic who allegedly predicted 9/11, the 2004 tsunami, and Obama's presidency. And Nostradamus, whose 16th century verses have been eerily accurate for 500 years. Both predicted remarkably similar events for 2026. And we're about to find out if they're right. Today, we're examining 12 historical predictions for 2026 from the world's most famous prophets. Some will terrify you. Some might actually happen. And by the end, you'll understand why millions of people are watching 2026 with a mixture of dread and fascination. Let's start with the most shocking one. Prediction number 1, First Contact with Alien Life, November 2026. According to Baba Vanga's followers, humanity will experience first contact with extraterrestrial life in November 2026, as a massive spacecraft approaches Earth. This isn't vague. It's specific. November 2026. A giant craft descending into our atmosphere. Communication with an advanced civilization. The kind of event that would change human history overnight. Now, before you dismiss this completely, consider this. Researchers like Harvard's Avi Loeb have pointed to the interstellar object 3I/Atlas and suggested the possibility of artificial objects moving toward Earth. NASA tracks unusual objects constantly. The conversation about UAP's unidentified aerial phenomena has moved from conspiracy theory to congressional hearings. Could Baba Vanga have foreseen something real? Or is this the ultimate wishful thinking for people who want to believe we're not alone? Either way, if November 2026 arrives and nothing happens, this prediction dies. But if something appears in our skies, well, we'll have to reconsider everything. Prediction number 2, AI begins controlling humanity. Both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus reportedly predicted that artificial intelligence would begin dominating in 2026. Believers claim Baba Vanga warned that AI would begin to dominate key sectors around 2026, bringing not just job disruption but serious ethical headaches. We're talking about AI making decisions about your employment, your healthcare, your financial future, without human oversight. Look around. AI is already writing code, diagnosing diseases, creating art, trading stocks, and even making legal decisions. In 2026, we're 1 year away. The trajectory is clear. Followers interpret this as AI reaching a turning point where humanity must re-evaluate the speed and safety of technological advancements. Maybe 2026 is when we realize we've gone too far, too fast. When the first major AI catastrophe happens. A medical misdiagnosis that kills thousands, an automated trading system that crashes the global economy, or an AI military system that makes a decision humans can't reverse. This prediction feels less like prophecy and more like inevitable extrapolation. We're rushing toward AI dominance. The question isn't if, it's when. And according to these predictions, when is next year? Prediction number 3, Global War, the beginning of World War III. This is where things get dark. Baba Vanga is believed to have predicted World War III in 2026, with major factors being the Chinese takeover of Taiwan and a direct confrontation between the US and Russia. Her prophecies forecast a significant surge in global military tension, often framed as a large-scale war starting in the East and spreading across the world, potentially leading to the destruction of the West. Let's be honest. This doesn't feel far-fetched. Russia and Ukraine are still at war. Tensions between the US and Russia remain high over the Ukrainian invasion. China's stance on Taiwan grows more aggressive. The Middle East remains volatile. North Korea continues nuclear development. Nostradamus predicted that Mars, the planet of war and conflict, would have strong astrological influence in early 2026, often meaning increased aggression, political tensions, and even military conflicts. We're sitting on a powder keg. Multiple flashpoints. Nuclear-armed nations in direct opposition. One miscalculation, one provocation, one leader making the wrong decision, and we're in a global conflict. The prophecy doesn't say the war ends the world. It says 2026 marks the beginning. A turning point. The moment when the post-World War II order finally collapses and something new, and potentially catastrophic, takes its place. Prediction number 4, catastrophic natural disasters. Baba Vanga's predictions claim that massive earthquakes, violent volcanic eruptions, and extreme weather will batter 7 to 8% of the planet's land area in 2026. 7 to 8% of Earth's land surface. That's roughly the size of South America. Devastated by natural disasters in a single year. Given the record heat waves in Europe, devastating wildfires in Australia and Canada, and mass casualty earthquakes in places like Myanmar, this particular prediction has gained significant traction. Climate change is accelerating. We're already seeing unprecedented weather events. 2024 and 2025 have broken temperature records globally. Ice sheets are melting faster than predicted. Ocean currents are shifting. Geologically, we know we're overdue for major earthquakes in several regions. The Pacific Northwest's Cascadia subduction zone, California's San Andreas Fault, Japan's tectonic boundaries. Volcanoes like Yellowstone remain active threats. Is it possible that 2026 becomes the year when multiple catastrophes hit simultaneously? When the climate crisis, tectonic activity, and volcanic eruptions converge into a perfect storm of natural disasters? Scientists would say it's unlikely all at once. But they'd also admit it's not impossible. And that's what makes this prediction unsettling, it's within the realm of plausibility. Prediction number 5, breakthrough in cancer treatment. Not all predictions are doom and gloom. Baba Vanga is credited with foreseeing a major medical leap in cancer diagnosis and treatments, with 2026 potentially being the year multi-cancer early detection blood tests move from pilots to national screening programs. This one has real momentum. MCED multi-cancer early detection blood tests are already in clinical trials. Companies like Grail are developing tests that can detect dozens of cancer types from a single blood sample, often before symptoms appear. The expectation is that 2026 could see advances in catching hard-to-spot cancers like pancreatic and ovarian earlier, though debates over false positives, rollout costs, and screening priorities remain. If this happens, it's genuinely revolutionary. Cancer detected years earlier means cancer treated more successfully. We're talking about potentially saving millions of lives. This prediction might be the one that actually comes true, not because of mystical foresight, but because the science is already there, and 2026 is a reasonable timeline for rollout. Prediction number 6, the decline of the West. Nostradamus predicted the decline of the Western world, not necessarily physically, but morally, ideologically, and culturally. Political polarization, erosion of trust in institutions, and a culture of permanent conflict may be silent indicators of internal disintegration. The West is not dying out, it is searching for a new identity. Look at Western democracies right now. Political systems are broken. Trust in government, media, and institutions is at historic lows. Societies are fractured along ideological lines. Economic inequality is widening. The social contract is fraying. This isn't about military defeat, it's about cultural and moral collapse from within. The loss of shared values, shared truth, shared purpose. 2026 might be the year when this becomes undeniable. When the cracks become chasms. When Western nations can no longer pretend the old systems are working. It's already happening. The prediction is just marking when it becomes impossible to ignore. Prediction number 7, economic instability and market collapse. Some enthusiasts warn of continued economic instability into 2026, driven by political conflict, natural disasters, and other disruptions rippling through supply chains and markets. Global debt is at historic levels. Inflation has destabilized economies. Supply chains remain fragile from pandemic disruptions. Banks are increasingly interconnected, meaning one failure can cascade globally. Add in the predicted natural disasters, potential war, and AI disruption of labor markets, and you have a recipe for economic chaos. This prediction doesn't require mystical powers, it requires paying attention to economic indicators. Many economists are already warning about vulnerabilities in the global financial system. 2026 could be when those vulnerabilities are catastrophically exposed. Prediction number 8: Venus exploration begins. Baba Vanga predicted that humanity will start harvesting energy from Venus by 2028, which means groundwork would need to start immediately in 2026. This one sounds wild, but several space agencies have Venus missions planned. NASA's Veritas and Da Vinci missions aim to study Venus's atmosphere and surface. The European Space Agency's Envision is scheduled for launch in the 2030s. Could 2026 be the year when serious Venus exploration begins, leading toward the 2028 energy harvesting prediction? It's a stretch, but space exploration timelines often align with predictions made decades earlier, suggesting long-term planning more than prophecy. Prediction number 9: Social collapse and loss of connection. Nostradamus predicted that Venus, representing love, harmony, and connection, would lose its influence. Interpreted broadly, this means the breakdown of human connection. Families fracturing. Communities dissolving. People increasingly isolated despite being digitally connected. We're already seeing this. Loneliness is epidemic. Mental health crises are surging. Suicide rates are climbing. People report having fewer close friends than ever before. Social media promised connection but delivered division. Technology promised to bring us together but made us more alone. If 2026 is when this reaches critical mass, when the social fabric tears beyond repair, the prediction will have been hauntingly accurate. Prediction number 10: Rise of a new leader, the man of light. Nostradamus wrote, "Shadows will fall, but the man of light will rise, and the stars will guide those who look within." This is deliberately vague, but the interpretation is that from chaos, a new leader emerges. Not a tyrant, a figure of genuine transformation. Someone who offers hope, unity, and a new vision when everything else has failed. Throughout history, periods of crisis produce transformational leaders. Sometimes good, sometimes terrible. 2026, if the other predictions prove true, would be the perfect storm for such a figure to emerge. Who will it be? A political leader? A technological visionary? A spiritual figure? The prediction doesn't specify. But it suggests that from darkness comes the possibility of light. Prediction number 11: Technological reversal, the AI backlash. Baba Vanga is credited with foreseeing a dramatic U-turn for the AI revolution in 2026, suggesting rapid AI progress will hit a significant roadblock, forcing humanity to reevaluate. Maybe 2026 is when we collectively decide to pump the brakes. When governments implement strict regulations. When the public demands AI oversight. When the tech industry faces a reckoning. The prediction of AI domination and AI reversal might seem contradictory, but they're not. It could be that AI reaches such dominance that backlash becomes inevitable. The question is whether we course correct voluntarily or after catastrophe forces our hand. Prediction number 12: The end of the world as we know it. Baba Vanga officially predicted the world will end in 5079. So 2026 isn't the apocalypse. But her followers interpret 2026 as marking a significant turning point, the end of the world as we know it, the beginning of something fundamentally different. Not extinction. Transformation. The old order crumbles. The new hasn't fully formed. We're in between worlds. That's what 2026 represents in these prophecies, the year everything shifts. 12 predictions. Some terrifying. Some hopeful. Some already unfolding before our eyes. Here's the truth about prophecies: they work not because seers can see the future, but because they're observing patterns in the present that point toward probable futures. Baba Vanga and Nostradamus weren't magic, they were pattern recognizers who understood that human behavior, technological development, and historical forces follow predictable trajectories. AI is advancing rapidly. Global tensions are rising. Climate change is accelerating. Economic systems are strained. Social cohesion is fracturing. You don't need mystical powers to predict that 2026 might be a pivotal year, you just need to pay attention. Will aliens arrive in November? Probably not. Will World War III begin? Hopefully not. Will AI reach a critical turning point? Maybe. Will we face catastrophic natural disasters? Given current trends, possibly. Will we achieve breakthroughs in medicine? There's genuine evidence suggesting yes. The most likely outcome? Some predictions will come true in unexpected ways. Some will fail completely. And some will be close enough to reality that people will claim they were accurate. But here's what matters: these predictions force us to think about where we're heading. They're warnings, cautionary tales, opportunities to course correct before it's too late. 2026 is coming whether we're ready or not. The question isn't whether these predictions are real, it's whether we're paying attention to the actual trends they represent. Thanks for watching. If this made you think differently about 2026, hit subscribe. Next week, historical prophecies that came true and the ones that were catastrophically wrong. Comment below, which prediction worries you most? What do you think 2026 will actually bring? See you in the next one. And good luck in 2026, we're all going to need it.